I guess that was therapeutic, right? Stoneboy there with therapy. And you're welcome back to the Coco Digest Morning Show here on Clock TV. I am Miriam Abena Adede. Now, of course, it is time for us to have our lifestyle conversation here on the show. And today, we are changing the narrative. We are trying to promote, men's health. We want to encourage men to seek for medical attention because we realize that early detection plays a critical role in preventing serious illnesses, and we need our men to be around as fathers, as brothers, and as uncles, as the strong body that holds the society. And that is why it is very important that we have this conversation. Now, doing this with me is our very own medical doctor. He happens to be a doctor at the University of Ghana Hospital, Legon, and an aspiring public health specialist. He is a teacher and also a Christian apologist. He's in the person of Dr. Kwejo Owusu Asante. Hello, Doc.
Hello.
Good morning once again.
Good morning.
Right. Thank you so much for making it today.
It's a pleasure to be here.
I'm hoping that in the course of the conversation, we'll be getting some scriptures, to back some of the points. But why did you add a Christian apologist to your credentials?
So, like I was telling you before we started this, for me, the Christian faith is my worldview.
Okay.
And when we say a worldview, it is a certain way of seeing everything in this world. So one of my favorite apologists, C.S. Lewis, says that for him, being a Christian or knowing Jesus Christ is like the sun.
Okay.
With the help of the sun, we can't see the sun. We don't know what exactly the sun is, but we have sunshine.
That's
and
true.
because of sunshine, I can see you, I can see everybody. And so for me, that is how Christianity is to me. So everything that I'm doing, I do it with that perspective that I am a Christian, I am a child of God, I'm a disciple of Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Right. Thank you so much. Now, getting into our conversation for today, we are trying to encourage men to seek for medical attention or medical help because we've realized that a lot of people or a lot of men do not seek for medical attention because of that kind of stereotype they have that as a man, when you're a bear man, you need to man up, men don't fall sick and all those kind of things. We did our research and we came across a few data that shows that. Now, in your own view, what do you think makes men hesitant in seeking for medical attention?
Okay, thank you very much. So before I start answering the question, I want to issue a disclaimer that, like I said, for me, Christianity is a worldview. So most of the things I'll be saying will be from the Bible. Now, if you don't believe in the Bible, whatever you believe in, at the end of the day, I don't want you to dismiss what I'm saying, but listen to the wisdom that is in what I'm saying, and then if it works for you, fine. If it doesn't, then you can throw it away.
So you gotta get your Bibles and pens.
Oh, no. No. Yeah, so to answer your question, the first thing I'll say is that in Proverbs 20, verse 7, he says that as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. And then he goes on to talk about a lot of things. Now, for me, in answering this question, why do men hesitate in seeking medical advice? I see that it is a certain disposition in their hearts. Like you rightly said, these stereotypes, these mindsets that are inculcated into us men as we grow up, the kind of things we hear, the things we see from our fathers and things like that, it puts a certain mindset in us. Like you said, men don't fall ill, men don't cry, men are supposed to be strong and things like that. Now, one key thing that I've come to learn recently is the fact that in everything, there needs to be a balance. There needs to be wisdom. And so, yes, it is true that men are strong. Men need to not cry. Men need to really be the backbone of the family. But as a man, if you are in trouble, you have a certain health condition, you don't stand there and say that, I have to be strong. And so you will not be vulnerable for your wife to know that you have this sickness and you will let it damage you, make you become very ill. Now, you cannot do anything. You are admitted. You cannot provide for this family. And so by having that mindset and holding on to it to a certain extreme extent, we end up damaging ourselves and damaging the people that we love. And so for me, it's a certain cultural and sometimes spiritual mindset that we take out of proportion. And so we need to have a balance. It is true that a man is the head of the family, and man is supposed to be everything that we've heard. But there are some situations and scenarios where we need to have a certain correct perspective. If you are sick, go to the hospital. If this is the issue, don't as a leader, whatever it is, at the end of the day, yes, because of the responsibilities on men, they may feel like, I cannot just leave my work and go to the hospital. You delegate, you find someone to do the work for you, and then go and seek the help and come back fit to do what you're supposed to do. So yeah, for me, that's where I see that the issue is a certain cultural, and especially because in our Ghanaian society we are very spiritual, we tend to take these cultural norms and things to the very far extreme. And so balance is where, yeah.
Right. So as a medical doctor, how important is early detection to the individual and even those around him?
All right. Thank you very much. So I'll start off by talking about trying to disabuse our minds on what health is. Now, WHO has a very wonderful definition of health. But for me, what I see health is that every part of your human body working perfectly. Now, the human body is made up of different parts, different organ systems. You have your heart, your brain. All these things communicate and relate with each other for you to have complete health. And so in the WHO definition, social, mental, physical, and every other aspect of a person's life, not necessarily a certain lack of disease. But if in your mind you are under stress, you are having certain mental conditions, you are not healthy. And so that is what I'll say first of all. And so from that basis, disease will be a certain alteration in this careful balance of how the body works. And so now, how does disease come about? Through medicine, we know that there are causes of disease. Now, the truth is that we don't know the cause of every single disease. And so we have things we call risk factors. So we do research, we take 10 people who have a particular disease, and we see that, we ask them questions, and we realize that 8 people who have hypertension, they are obese. So then we tell people that obesity is not good. You need to reduce your weight, because we've realized, we don't know for sure that this obesity is what is causing it, but because 8 out of 10 people who have this disease have it, and so we advise you that do it this way. Yeah. So when whatever cause or risk factor is causing the disease, now it comes in, let's take an example, malaria. You are bitten by the mosquito, the parasite gets into your body, it goes into the body, it damages your red blood cells and a lot of things, goes into the liver, causes a lot of trouble. Now that is when you have disease. And so for a person who, now before this happens, the thing starts. So in disease progression, we have the subclinical stage, where the thing is in your blood, but it hasn't shown you any symptoms. And so there's a need for early detection. The moment you start seeing symptoms of, today I'm not feeling well, I have a headache, I have this, I have that, then your mind should quickly go to the fact that, could something be happening in my body? And so you quickly seek advice, because the sooner you come to the hospital for us to figure out what is going on in your body, the better. Because yes, we'll give you disease, we can do surgery and do all these things, but all of these things have their limit. And so if we understand the fact that, yes, someone will say, I'll just wait when I'm sick, or I cannot move, that is when, by that time, there would have been a certain damage done in the body that the medicine we will give you, the truth be told, it will not send you back to square one. It will just, if you are at 80%, it will just bring you back to 90. It will not take you to 100%. And so that is what we need to realize, one key thing about health. And so early detection is so crucial.
Some have also raised concerns about how these diseases are communicated. I have this sister who exaggerates about everything. I mean, I always tell her, if you're a doctor, you kill a lot of people, because if it is a mosquito, she'll say it is maybe a dog or a lion. Like, she exaggerates every single thing. Don't you think the way these diseases are communicated to our men also scare them from
Yeah,
seeking
I
for
totally
help.
agree
Yeah.
that some of my colleagues, health practitioners, we tend to use fear as a means to communicate the need to get people to do what we think is good for them. Yes, but there's a place for fear for the very recalcitrant and very stubborn patients. You need to put fear in them because we try every means. You advise them, you try and befriend them, you send them reminders, you call them. These people will not take the advice. They know the thing is damaging their body. They will not. And so there's a place for fear, but fear is not the only way of communicating. And so for me, I tend to try and, once again, like I began, have a balanced approach in dealing with patients, so that when you're communicating what is wrong with somebody to them, you have to come from a certain sympathetic place and then give them the facts and then encourage them. So there's this psychological way of counseling people where it's a sandwich approach. So you tell them the good things, then you give them the bad news, and then you add the good news at the end to sandwich it so that it becomes something that they can take. But if you just give them the bad news just like that, it becomes very hard to chew for them. So yeah.
Right. So you made mention of the fact that some are very stubborn clients, and no matter how you remind them of their diseases, they do not want to come for the checkups and other things. But what are some of these diseases that men, tend to overlook? I mean, someone will be wondering, if it is mere, let's say, let me just use malaria. If it is mere malaria, I don't think I need to be reminded to come for checkup. And, what are some of these diseases that men overlook?
Okay, so before I came here, I was doing some research using ChatGPT and a couple of AI models, and so one of the first diseases that is quite common according to these AI models is malaria. Now, malaria, to some extent, is not something very sinister, especially in adults, comparing it to children. And so, yeah, apart from malaria, you have something like, apparently HIV is also quite common. And then you have lower respiratory tract infections like pneumonia and things. But there are chronic conditions like hypertension and diabetes, and then heart conditions. So usually from hypertension and diabetes, if you don't manage these things well, it tends to graduate to something like a heart failure, to a kidney failure, and then to liver failure, also because of alcohol abuse among some men. And so these are some of the diseases that and then very importantly, cancers, especially now in our part of the world, cancers are very common. And so for a man, the commonest will be a prostate cancer, but other cancers are also things that affect men, quite often. And so, these are some of the conditions that there are.
Right. So, well, if you just joined us, we've been having a conversation here on promoting men's health and ways of encouraging regular checkups for our men. And I've been doing this with our very own Dr. Kwejo Owusu-Asante, medical doctor at the University of Ghana Hospital. He's been educating us. And so if you just joined us, you can send in your comments to our WhatsApp number, which is being displayed on the screen right now, and also via our streaming platforms, Facebook and also YouTube. And we'll gladly read all your comments out. Now, Doc, let's tackle the most important thing. How do we help these men to, avoid getting these diseases? Let me start with the family.
Okay. So, with a family, now, first of all, it is very difficult to get a man to do what he has made up his mind to do.
Some men.
So it's not a man thing alone. It's just a human-based thing that once a person has made up their mind, it is very, very hard to get them to change their mind.
That's true.
And so that is something to just bear in mind. But that notwithstanding, what as spouses and as family members we can do is to use a certain loving approach. Now, as a Christian, love is something that the Bible teaches, that you use a certain loving approach to help this man understand that it is not that I'm trying to force you to do this thing, but you see, daddy or my brother or my uncle, this
honey,
hypertension,
sweetheart,
yeah, all these
baby.
things that I'm talking about it because I love you. I wouldn't want to be coming to the hospital to come and now have to, when you are unwell and you are in the hospital, we cannot go out to Dubai, we cannot go and chill, we cannot have fun, we cannot enjoy the pleasant times that we are having. And so this thing that I'm telling you about your hypertension or your this or your that, it's not that I am saying it because I just like talking, but it is from a certain loving place out of your own good. And so it is not just a matter of talk, it is also a matter of action. And so you are pampering this guy, you are encouraging him, you are also motivating him, making him feel good about himself. And then by so doing, so it may be a very wrong approach, but what Delilah did to Samson, you put the head on the lap and then sweet talk him and get him to
Very
understand
necessary.
that this thing, it's going to affect me too. It's going to affect the children that you are trying to work, and then create a better future for. So using a certain carefully balanced love approach, I think that should help.
In your own experience as a medical doctor, give us one practical way of handling this situation.
Okay. So first of all, I will say that I'll go back again to the Bible. Now, something I wrote down, that in a multitude of counselors, there is safety. And so, for any man that will come to me, what I will say is that for me, like I'm trying to do here, I am just telling you something, but don't just take my word for it. Yes, your wife has told you that this thing, go and get it checked. Don't take her word for it. Ask other people. So, yes, you may feel like, okay, this doctor, he doesn't know what I'm going through. Ask another doctor who is in your church, or just ask somebody, and then put everything together into perspective and analyze. Hey, this hypertension, hey, this person died of the hypertension, my uncle died of hypertension, this person said this person said this person. And then as a man, as a very intelligent young person, or whoever it is, you come to an informed decision. And so, yeah, don't take my word for it. Go and ask other doctors. Go and ask a nurse you know. Go and ask any health personnel, someone who deals with health. Just ask them that, okay, my doctor told me this. Is it true? And just get all these things and then sit down and analyze. So for me, that's one very practical way of doing that. And then once again, showing them love. And so I will text you and remind you about it because
Don't you get fed up?
It is easy to get fed up, yes, because when you are trying to help someone and they don't see things from their perspective, it can be frustrating. But for me, I see that the frustration comes from a place where I just have to ask myself, why am I doing this? Why have I gotten frustrated? Because the person is not listening to me, and so I'm frustrated. But am I doing this for myself, or I'm doing this for them? And so when I have that selfless perspective, I am able to still push through the frustration. Yes, if you don't want me to come close to you, I'll take a step back, but I will not run away. I will still come back with that same heart of love to say that I care about you. I don't want you to go in this direction, and we will now have to spend the money that we can use to go and chill on hospital bills, buying medications. And so I will still try, although I will be frustrated. I'll take a break when I'm frustrated, but I will not give
still
up.
Come back.
Yeah.
Right. So we'll be wrapping up shortly, but
Okay.
are there some myths or misconceptions that we need to debunk moving forward? Because after this education, the myths still exist. If we don't debunk them, they'll come back at us. That they said this, they said that, and so we are not taking your advice.
The myths are a lot. They are a lot. I cannot even remember all of them. But I think one popular one that I've heard is that when men go, especially when men have urinary symptoms or issues, they don't go to the hospital because they're afraid that they will put a catheter into them and they will not be able to perform. Yes. And then another thing too, especially with a disease like hypertension, there's this notion that some of the antihypertensive medications cause a man to be impotent. And so a man will not take their medication because of that. Now, to answer this second myth, some of the hypertensive medications do cause that. I will not doubt that. But the thing is that it doesn't happen to every man that is on that medication. And so if you are a man and you've taken the antihypertensive and you are having these symptoms, what you have to do is to go back to your doctor. That doctor, the medicine you gave me, this is what I am seeing. Now, we know that as doctors, these medications have these side effects, but I don't know if person A or person B is the one that will have the side effects. So I will not say I will not prescribe. I'll still prescribe because the hypertension is going to kill you faster than the impotence. So I'll give it to you. But when you have the side effects, you have to come back to me and tell me that I am having these side effects. Then I change it to something that will not give you that side effect. And so that's a very important thing. And then the first one, that it is not every time that as a man, when you go to the hospital, doctors, we are just crazy about catheters. We just come and put catheters into you. No, that's not true. There are certain peculiar situations where we do that. And so let's try to disabuse our minds of these myths.
Is there anything your outfit is doing to, encourage men to seek for medical attention?
Not something in particular I can think of, but I believe that as health personnel, one thing that I would just say is that we should have an open mind, and then there's this, once again, out of balance perspective. For me, I fall prey to that. When a patient comes to me and they are a lady, I am more patient, I am more careful and respectful, and I'm at my best self. But when a guy comes to me, I don't have that same compassion for them. And so I think that it's something that as health personnel we should pay attention to, that the boy children, the men too, need to be respected and to be taken care of. You have to make the patient feel at home. And so when you have such a perspective, or you give them that ambience to be able to open up to you, they will be able to open up to you.
Right. We have a comment here. This is from Aaron inside Kaswa. Please, my question is, why did you decide to talk about men? Is it that we are stubborn? Oh, not at all. We are just trying to help you, or doc.
Yeah. I think that yes, the things we are using men, but it is not that the man is the only subject of these things. As women, as children, at the end of the day, the things I am saying, just think about it. Just remove the man context from there and think about it. Does it make sense? Can you apply it to your life? If it is, then please do. So we are sorry for making the subject all about men, but these are very applicable life principles and health principles.
Right. Yeah. Doc, finally, what advice will you give to men who feel reluctant in seeking for medical attention or medical help? Okay. This is your camera.
All right. So what I would say is that as a man, what do you hope to achieve? What is your goal? Now, as men, we want to be respected. We want to be able to provide for our families and our loved ones. We want to be able to do all of these things. Now, one thing we don't realize is that health plays a key role in helping us to be able to play these roles and be able to chill and have all the fun, talk about the sports that we like to talk about, boys, and things like that. If we don't take care of our health, if we don't spend some time. So one of the things I wrote down is that when guys we meet, let's not just talk about the sports or the women. Let's also talk about health.
Emphasis is on the women.
Yeah, let's not just talk about these things, but let's talk about the health too, because at the end of the day, if we don't have the good health, how are we going to keep talking about the women that we talk about? How are we able to go and play the sports, play the football, and talk about the football and the video games and things that we do? We will not be able to, because now we are in the hospital, and so we cannot come for this boys get together and things. Sure. And so it's just the advice is that health is very, very important for us to pay attention to, in addition to all the other very important aspects of our lives. So yeah. That's what I'll say.
Thank you so much. Dr. Kojo Owusu Asante is a medical doctor at the University of Ghana Hospital, Legon. He is an aspiring public health specialist, a teacher, and of course, a Christian apologist. I hope you wrote down some Bible verses because it has been an insightful conversation here, trying to promote men's health, encouraging regular medical checkups for our men. And so that is the conversation we had here on the lifestyle segment. I am Miriam Abena Adede. Now, up next is my favorite. We have amazing personalities to celebrate today. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I heard today was your birthday. I heard today was your birthday.
Welcome back to the show. Now let's start with our first birthday celebrant. And this is from Clement to Reverend Felix Manso. A happy, glorious birthday, man of God. Your life has been of great impact unto many. May this good Lord continue to use you to transform lives. May the Lord enlarge your coast, Reverend Felix Manso. Remain ever blessed. And this is also from Franca to Mom. Here's a heartfelt birthday message you could send to your mother. Happy birthday, Mom. I'm so grateful for everything you are and all that you've done for me. Your love, wisdom, and strength have shaped me in so many ways. I hope today brings you as much joy as you've brought into my life. Love you always and wishing you a year filled with happiness and peace. And this is also from Bevelyn to Mary Ann. Happy birthday, beautiful Mary Ann. May this new chapter bring open doors and may your heart's desires be fulfilled in Jesus' name. Amen. And this is also from Mami Abena Boabeng to Julius. A happy birthday, Julius. Wishing you a fantastic day filled with joy, laughter, and all the things you love. I hope this year brings you even more success and happiness. Enjoy your special day. This is, no name. A happy birthday, girlfriend. May the favor of the Lord our God rest upon you and establish the work of your hands. Psalm 90 verse 17, wishing you a year filled with God's blessings, guidance, and success in all your endeavors. And this is also to Gifty Kendralai. Happy birthday to the baddest baddie, Gifty Kendralai. May this year mark the start of amazing new doors opened for you. This is from Yaira here at Clock TV. And this is also from Bevelyn to Franca. A happy birthday, Franca. May God bless your new chapter and fill your lips with laughter. This is also from Marcelo to Edmond Nene Inchi Nano. Glorious birthday to my brother from another mother, Edmond Nene Inchi Nano. May the Lord of all grace continue to bless you and may he open greater opportunities for you. Doc, can you help us with this birthday?
Okay. Happy birthday to name.
Chinchi.
Chinchi, the cutest. Have an amazing new year. Wish you more joy and peace, and may your life be as beautiful as you are.
Of course,
Amen.
as beautiful as you are. And this very last one is from Clock TV's technical team to Bright. A happy birthday, brother. Here's to another year of making epic memories. Enjoy your day. You look like a king, actually. Very handsome. Right. So, so this is where we end the birthday segment here on the Cocoa Digest Morning Show on Clock TV. I am Miriam Abena Adede. Up next is our very own Clement Yabankwe standing by to take us into the world of business. Stay with us. We'll be right back.